air. Gold bells shining, they all dare. Tougher, fists held high. Warriors fight till the night says die. FWE, where battles divine. Every broken bone, all by design. Chained to the thrill, they let it be. This ain't a game, it's FWE. FWE, where battles define. Every broken bone, all by design. Chained to the thrill, they let it be. This ain't a game, it's FWE. Oh, FWE, FWE. Oh, FWE, FWE.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's episode of FWE, as we are count 'em, 7 short days away from the upcoming PLE at Power Up. Seth Cole alongside of Jack Mitchell, who just recently locked himself into the men's Power Up ladder match. Jack, can you believe it? 1 short week away.
I'm glad I get a week of rest because that was a pretty intense qualifying match for the ladder match. And we're about to have another qualifier right here, right now.
Became the 4th individual to lock themselves into that power-up briefcase ladder match taking place on March 19th. We get ready here tonight to figure out who the 5th participant will be. Of course, only one to be determined after that, and that'll be this Saturday night on the final go-home show of FWE Extra.
Mario going to be the first participant in this matchup, trying to get into his hometown PLE here at the Mushroom Kingdom. Oh, this is going to be an interesting one too.
And representing the Dangerous Alliance from New York, weighing in at 600 pounds.
And of course you say that because Hulk is no stranger to holding the Money in the Bank briefcase. We ended up seeing him successfully cash it in, become the Tri-Wizard champion. Now, the odds are not in his favor because Elizabeth Swan, who was the former holder of the Money in the Bank briefcase on the women's side, she did not advance to Power Up, and Hulk's got to go through 5 other participants here tonight to even qualify for a chance of being a back-to-back Power Up briefcase holder.
Absolutely, and of course there's also the factor that he more than likely is going to be the largest man in this matchup, so he's going to be an easy target. He's going to have to keep his eyes open.
Your point. Bigger individuals in these qualifying matchups have not fared all that well. Maybe the rare exception, Maui, right now looking to potentially be the biggest individual we currently know, is locked into that 6-man ladder match.
And representing the Order from Manchester, England, weighing in at 100 pounds, Harry Potter!
Well, interesting so far, the 3 individuals that we know are in this qualifying matchup have all at one point held championship gold here in FWE. Mario, a former tag team champion, Hulk, of course, a former Tri-Wizard champion, and Harry Potter, a former Wayfinder Cruiser champion. As a matter of fact, that championship is on the line here tonight. Carson Gum in our main event issuing an open challenge to anyone in the back. So that title will be defended here tonight, just a few short days away from Power Up.
I haven't seen an open challenge in a while. I can't recall the last time we had one, so I'm curious to see who is going to answer Carson's open challenge. And of course, he won that title after going through the goblet of fire, if you will, that was laid down by this man right here, Harry Potter.
Remain strong.
No disqualifications in this type of a matchup. One would certainly wonder if Harry Potter has some contingency plan in place, if we might see the other members of the Order of the Phoenix, Dumbledore or Hagrid, be called in to interfere in this matchup. It'd all be perfectly legal under these circumstances.
Absolutely. No DQ in a 6-pack elimination match.
Representing the outside from Cadillac, weighing in at 163 pounds, Prince O'Leary.
How about this, Jack? A return here tonight. The long absent Aladdin back in an FWE ring.
Really good to see him again. Obviously, it looks like his neck has been healed up after taking all those tombstone pile drivers. So we'll just see that he's doing all right and he's feeling up to some in-ring competition again. I can relate.
Yeah, those neck injuries, courtesy of the current Intercontinental Champion Hades.
And representing the corporation from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, weighing in at 185 pounds, Ring Joe.
Oh, we ended up seeing recently the other male half of Mystery Incorporated, Shaggy Rogers, unsuccessful in transferring his way into the power-up ladder match. Last opportunity here tonight with Fred Jones.
Definitely need to bring his best tonight. He wants to get that faction into this ladder match. I mean, it's not easy when you look at the names that have already worked their way inside the ring for this one. Guys like Mario, Hulk, Harry Potter. It's a stacked field here tonight. These guys are kind of realizing that this opportunity is coming pretty late in this build of the PLE. It's only a week away, so there's not going to be that much rest. It feels like there might be a sense of desperation among competitors tonight.
We haven't seen Fred Jones all that often here in FW, and it's interesting because, you know, you go back to Jasmine transferring her way into the women's power-up briefcase ladder match, and we've mentioned that she's kind of been the outlier of her faction to not hold championship gold. Well, Shaggy Rogers, the former Tri-Wizard champion, Velma and Daphne have held the women's tag team titles. Fred Jones is yet to hold gold for his team.
Weighing in at 185 pounds.
We mentioned about Harry Potter, a former cruiserweight champion. Usko, another individual who has held that championship belt. A part here of this qualifying matchup, one half of the New Groove tag team.
Feels like that cruiserweight title has definitely changed hands a lot as of late.
Carson Young currently holding that title, and the individual here to my right, former holder of that title belt, is here we go. If you haven't tuned in to any of our qualifying matchups so far, it's basically last man standing wins this matchup, elimination style. You've got to go through all 5 of the rest of your competition to be able to even have a shot of battling at the power-up PLE in that men's ladder match. You see on the top right of your screen the 4 individuals that have already qualified in. Raphael of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Maui, Robbie Kilbin, and my broadcast colleague Jack Mitchell. 2 remain. 1 gets determined right here.
We got a cover already as Hulk with a cover on Harry Potter. Kick out at 1. I say the cruiserweight title has changed hands as of late. I should say before it was in the hands of Carson Gunn. He's held that title now 134 days. That could be a streak that gets put to an end though tonight with that open challenge in our main event.
Could very well. All depends on who answers the call and obviously the circumstances at the end of the night. You mentioned about we haven't had an open challenge really here in quite a while. You're putting yourself at risk for sure if you're the champion, but that just kind of shows the fighting champion that Carson is. Ended up successfully defending that cruiserweight title on the biggest stage at Paramount. Well, look at this.
Over here. Look how for a 1 count. They're definitely on fire to start this one. I mean, he, of all people, should want to get into the PLE, considering it's happening in his home territory.
Absolutely. Chance to show off in front of your home crowd, and you got to think maybe in terms of being a crowd favorite in a matchup like a power-up ladder match, that home field advantage could actually help you in some way, shape, or form, just feeding off of the crowd.
Absolutely. The crowd does seem to be fans of the Mario Bros. As it is. They always seem to get a huge crowd reaction whenever they get introduced. Nice Hurricane Rana there by Harry Potter to Hulk.
I've been noticing that a lot of individuals have kind of been singling out Hulk. They know the threat that he poses, not just his figure, but also a former holder of the men's power-up briefcase. Oh, man.
Just snatched away that kendo stick and then got taken down in a submission hold by Kuzco.
It's smart. Take away that vertical base from the powerhouse.
And you've definitely got to keep your eyes on Hulk. I can tell you that firsthand from experience. If you don't see him coming, you're going to be in a world of hurt.
As we mentioned, good to see Aladdin back after recovering from the injury sustained by Hades. And remember that his female counterpart of the Outsiders, Jasmine, she's qualified into her matchup already. If Aladdin qualifies tonight, we could end up having both members of that duo walking around backstage with their respective briefcases.
Very well could, as here's a cover. Looks like Hulk was just barely able to kick out before Aladdin broke that one up.
Yeah, Aladdin, I don't think Aladdin was necessarily looking to break it up. I think as soon as he saw the kick out, he delivered the drop kick to the back of Harry Potter. Though, to your point, we have seen a few times here on both the men's and the women's side some crucial errors where they're not remembering that this is an eliminators type matchup, not a one fall to a finish, and they've broken up pinfalls that very well could have been a difference maker into whether they were going to win this matchup or not.
That's a good point. Again, like you said, it's not first pinfall or submission wins it, as Aladdin's going to get sent to the announce table. You just need to survive and outlast, and if somebody else eliminates someone else from the matchup, then you'd be fine with just letting that happen. At least you would figure.
Load over takedown there by Aladdin on the outside, but everything takes place between the ropes in terms of pinfall or submission, as Kuzco nearly got himself an elimination in the form of Harry Potter, and now takes down the Hulk.
Hulk has not really been as much of a powerhouse in this matchup as I figured he would be. I mean, he's still holding his own so far, but I think he'd be a little bit more dominant in this match type. Oh my.
Big leg drop there, covered a lot of distance, did Kuzco. Whoa!
Look at the reversal.
Wow, did you see that? Harry Potter off of that Northern Lights belly-to-belly suplex, he was able to land on his feet.
They're gonna keep it inside the ring as Aladdin gets sent inside. Big clothesline. I guess Harry Potter was interested in a different opponent there.
Take down there on Harry Potter, and we got a chair introduced on the outside. Nice moonsault by Aladdin, looking to take Harry Potter out of the equation early and kick out at 2.
That was almost it for Harry Potter.
Oh, look out. Referee Ernest White.
Nice move there by Aladdin. Gonna go for the moonsault off the bottom rope, I think, and it covers in.
Kick out at 2 again. Maybe a little slow on the start of that count there by referee Ernest Wright.
Yeah, still didn't look like there was a whole lot, though, in that kick out from Harry Potter.
And I'm not sure if I agree with this strategy by Aladdin. I would have stayed on Harry. Instead, he went to the outside to get involved in that scrum.
You're giving your competitor a chance to rest, although he's not really going to get a chance to rest as Fred delivered him into the ring mat, but then himself delivered into the ring mat by Aladdin, who goes for another springboard.
It's the Bulldog. Harry might have actually bounced off that kendo stick sitting there in the middle of the ring, and now Aladdin Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Might be setting up for a little 619 action.
If he goes to the cover, Harry's done. Harry's taken a whole bunch of moves. Hasn't gotten into any offense. Has been consistently knocked down. I feel like his lights are out.
Cover is in by Aladdin, and to your point, Harry Potter is spent and gone. We're down to 5.
To keep an eye out. It's been a while. We only just now had our first elimination. Look out, Mario.
Trying to leap on that entire pile of individuals, and I think it took more out of him than it did anybody else.
Good news for him, it's all ringside, so he's not at risk right now of getting pinned or submitted.
Aladdin rib first there into the steel steps. His midsection is taking quite a beating here. He went gut first into our announce table, now into the steps, and of course as well, he's delivered an awful lot of springboard moonsaults and splashes to Harry Potter and others, and while that obviously does damage to your opponent, you certainly feel the effects of it yourself as you're delivering those moves.
Absolutely. Just because it hurts them doesn't mean it doesn't hurt you, albeit a little bit less.
Aladdin just got popped off of that LED covering of the ring post there.
He's giving it their all. I saw there was a small package in there. DDT by Kuzco to Hulk.
Going over there by Aladdin, and now it looks like Mario and Fred Jones going to make their way back inside of the ring. Mario in control of that exchange for the time being with the tilt-a-whirl head scissors, and then went for the moonsault, and nobody was there.
Then he gets up and there's Aladdin. Is this a submission attempt of some sort?
But it's on the outside. Crossface locked in on Hulk. If he taps out, it doesn't matter because it's not in between the ropes. Big slam by Fred Jones.
They're wrenching on that arm of Aladdin in the middle of the ring.
Hulk still down there, feeling the effects of that crossface, and ooh, bad landing there for Aladdin. Not sure what Kuzco's positioning Aladdin for here, but Mario preempts it, and a little arm drag.
I feel like the three of these guys are focused on their opponents. Look out here.
Maybe going for a second 619. Connects this time to Mario.
Thinking about dishing out any more damage, perhaps. Big kick. Well, that answers that question.
Boy, you could just hear it echo there, and I'm not sure as much that Mario kicked out. I think Kuzco may have accidentally broken that up.
I feel like Mario would have had enough wherewithal to kick out that quickly before a 1 count, but now he's dropped and the cover is in.
Powerbomb by Fred Jones, and Mario is gone. Combination of the 619 from Aladdin and the powerbomb from Fred, and unfortunately for Mario, he will not be able to perform in front of his home crowd in this ladder match at the upcoming PLE.
Tough break from Mario, but he just took too much offense from too many different individuals at the same time.
Our power-up card is starting to slowly reveal itself here. Getting close to knowing the 6 participants for both the men's and the women's respective power-up ladder matches. We also know that both of the mid-card titles for the men are going to be defended. Let's hold that thought. Big slam by Hulk to Fred Jones. Powerhouse on powerhouse, and Fred will head to the back. We're down to 3.
Hulk is still standing. The endurance has definitely been a factor for him in this one. He hasn't really stood out amongst the competitors in this match so far, but been able to last in there for just long enough.
For an opportunity to be a 2-time power-up briefcase
Look out.
holder. Aladdin delivered into the apron. I think he narrowly avoided those steel steps.
it's still a brutal hit to take. And I think about the neck injury that he just recovered from as well. That's not something that you want to be dealing with as he gets dropped on the outside right in front of our announce table.
Massive dominator, gut first into the floor. Mentioned that both the men's mid-card titles going to be on the line at Power Up. We know that now it'll be Hades taking on Dylan Poteet for the Intercontinental Championship, and we also know that Baymax, just a few short weeks after his incredible debut, he'll be taking on Matt McIntyre for the United States Championship. Baymax is in action here tonight up next, as he will take on Matt McIntyre's fellow family member Michael Norman in one-on-one action.
Or Aladdin just got double teamed there. Oh, Kuzco, look at the strength delivering a small package to the Hulk of all people.
This will be a massive elimination, no pun intended, and he gets it.
I would be willing to call that an upset. And to your point earlier, Seth, you said that the odds were not in Hulk's favor when you remember that Elizabeth Swann was not successful in qualifying for the women's power-up match. Same deal here with Hulk.
So with that elimination, we are now guaranteed 2 brand new individuals will be holding those briefcases next week.
Kuzco down. Aladdin probably feels like he's in control.
Both these individuals very similar in styles. Great technical ground game, but not afraid to fly. Another float over. Celine Del Stol type move there by Aladdin, and now maybe looking for that stunner. All he have to do now, I think, is just deposit Kuzco back between the ropes, and Aladdin may be going to power up.
Definitely feels like he's in a good spot in this one. He's just got to stay sharp. Attack on the leg, the knee area. That'll definitely wear out Kuzco, take away his vertical base.
Mentioned about those titles that are being defended at Power Up on the men's side. On the women's side, some ramifications in regards to Power Up in the Women's Universal Championship in a matchup later on tonight, as we're going to be seeing Poison Ivy involved in a fatal 4-way 2 out of 3 falls match, in which the 3 competitors that are challengers, if they end up picking up the victory, they're the new #1 contender to fight for the Universal Championship at Power Up. But if Poison Ivy wins, it's dealer's choice. She gets to choose who she defends the title against at the PLE.
Going to make things very interesting as well. When you get a chance to decide who your opponent is, it's not always an advantage that some champions have, so she'll be able to exploit that to her liking. Oh, big kick there. Kuzco might be able to open up a window of offense. It was all Aladdin on the side of the ring. Now that they're back between the ropes, Kuzco's regained control here. This might be a golden opportunity for him.
Snaps the head and back region. That focuses on the neck region. That move right there, you talked about the recovering neck injury of Aladdin. I think that has certainly got to be a target for Kuzco.
The big knee to the head. Try maybe wrenching on the arm again here.
Kuzco might be setting up for something else here. I thought he might go for a cover. There are no rope breaks in this type of a matchup with no disqualification. Oh, and now gonna look to cinch in that crossface in the center of the ring. Even if Aladdin got to the ropes, Kuzco would not have to release the hold.
Aladdin trying. I think Kuzco did release the hold anyway. Might try and lock in another submission.
Sharpshooter now working on the lower region of Aladdin. Cinched in, and Aladdin taps out. Kuzco is going to Power Up.
Good showing from Kuzco. As soon as they got, it was all Aladdin when they were ringside, but as soon as they got back in the ring, Kuzco found one moment of offense and he took it and ran with it.
Seemed almost like as soon as Kuzco got that underdog elimination on Hulk, that just kind of fired him up for the rest of the match.
absolutely did. And now Michael Norman going to take on the future #1 contender for the United States Championship. Coming up next on FWE, Baymax versus the leader of the family.
Welcome you back here inside the FWE Fantasy Dome as we get ready for one-on-one action as the family make their way to ringside.
Is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring, accompanied by Matt McIntyre, representing the family from Orlando, Florida, weighing in at 296 pounds, Michael
Michael Norman on the left, Matt McIntyre with that United States Championship around his waist. The belt could be in jeopardy, however, as he suffered a pinfall loss to Baymax last week, putting Baymax in #1 contendership for that belt. They will fight at the Power Up PLE tonight. Michael Norman, though, trying to handle some family business.
And are we the least bit surprised that he decided to bring Matt McIntyre to the ring with him?
Of course not. Well, it's been a very short career here for Baymax. We saw you, Jack, kind of usher him into the FWE universe. It played a big part into your ability to return and be physically fit to advance your way into the Power Up PLE, but some really decisive victories for Baymax as well. Was able to take down the Powerhouse in Hercules' debut match, and then just one short week later, got that pinfall victory on the United States champions.
Yeah, Baymax has definitely been on a tear here, but taking on the family in FWE is definitely not going to be a small task, especially when I'd say that this is the first time that he's been outnumbered in a sense. Obviously, it's a one-on-one match, but I wouldn't be surprised if Matt McIntyre tried to interfere with this thing somehow.
Michael Norman, the powerhouse of the family, and an opportunity here just 1 week away from the Power Up PLE to be able to wear Baymax down, maybe get into the psyche of Baymax here in preparation for that opportunity at the United States Championship. Also consider this as well. I don't know if this is necessarily about pinfalls and submissions. You mentioned about the underhand tactics we've seen the family have with Matt McIntyre out here at ringside. They may be willing to just take a disqualification just to dish as much punishment as they can on Baymax.
Yeah, I think in the case of the family, it's more about punishment than it is the result here. Whatever happens, it's not going to change the fact that Baymax is going to be the #1 contender. Look at the strength of Michael.
Michael Norman has already attempted to qualify for the Power Up ladder match, was unsuccessful. We're going to see Matt McIntyre this Saturday night in the go-home show of FWE Extra. He'll be in his qualifying matchup. We've talked about the possibility of a number of individuals maybe going to Power Up and pulling off double duty. So far, any of those individuals have not been able to successfully advance into the Power Up PLE. Matt McIntyre seems to be maybe one of the last that could have that kind of a possibility this coming Thursday night.
It would certainly make his life a lot busier that week. I mean, Matt McIntyre, it's probably worth documenting as well because we were just getting brushed up on the recent championship reigns of everybody in FWE. Matt McIntyre, far and away the longest reigning champion of any kind. Hold that thought, this doesn't cover. Check that out one, but Matt, 211 days as the United States champion.
That would be the longest reigning United States champion here in FWE, surpassing Gaston and Nick Gunther. Look at the strength here of Michael Norman, and there you see, there's the underhanded tactics. Matt McIntyre took that top turnbuckle pad off, and while referee Ernest Wright's distracted, delivers a kendo stick into Michael.
Now, Ernest Wright sees the kendo stick. He'll get rid of it, but Gotta keep your eyes squarely on where they should be.
I don't think Michael saw that kendo stick, or else I think he would have been more than willing to use it. Fortunately, Ernest Wright was able to notice it before it was used.
Look at this. All the distance he has to cover. His foot might have taken a glancing blow off the ring apron on the way down, but nevertheless, Michael Norman still standing tall.
Incredible high-flying offense from a 300-pounder, and shot right there into the lower hamstring, and then a spinning kick caught Michael right in the side of the face.
Baymax is basically a powerhouse too. I didn't think he had that move in him though.
Cover in here by Baymax. This could be huge in terms of momentum for him going into that title match, and Michael gets out at 2.
So you can see the nervous expression on Matt McIntyre's face as the bear hug submission is locked in.
We've seen Baymax use that submission to set up for the bear hug slam that has him currently 2-0 in his FWE career. Michael fighting out of it though.
And still able to toss Baymax around like he weighs nothing. There goes Matt again, look at this.
Back up on the ring apron once again. Power slam, scoop power slam by Michael Norman, however. And again, Michael just showing off that strength as he bench press lifts Baymax high above his head.
Michael in all kinds of control in this matchup. I mean, Baymax has been able to get in a little bit of offense, so it's not like he's totally out of it, and he dodges that maneuver there.
Now we saw what we basically have dubbed a squash match when Baymax took on Hercules. More of a competitive match when he took on Matt McIntyre, but we're seeing him be a little bit more dominant in this matchup against Michael Norman, as Michael, off of that massive move there that drove Baymax's head into the mat, and that's gonna do it.
Here is your winner, Michael Norman.
For the most part, that was all Michael Norman.
Well, if anything, if the confidence was dashed after the pinfall loss to Baymax, does this instill maybe a little bit of extra confidence for Matt McIntyre going into next week?
I think we're going to have to wait and find out, but when you've got the leader of the family on your side, I mean, I guess you're in a pretty good spot if you're Matt McIntyre.
We'll be seeing Matt McIntyre and Baymax fight for that United States Championship next week at Power Up. Up next, Women's Universal Championship ramifications in fatal 4-way action.
The following is a 2 out of 3 falls match. Making her way to the ring, representing Havoc from parts unknown, the Women's Universal Champion, Ivy.
But when we get to Power Up next week, Ivy will have crossed the 100 days threshold as Women's Universal Champion. But going into that PLE, there's no clear #1 contender. She successfully defended the title against Ursula back at Clash at Coruscant. Ursula wanted another shot, was in a tag team matchup, teaming up with Maleficent. They lost. So tonight, a #1 contender will be determined. The question will be, however, will it be a #1 contender that determines their own fate, or will it be Poison Ivy who will determine her future opponent next week?
We're going to find out right now. Obviously, you touched upon it earlier, but the stipulation for this matchup is that the winner, if it's anyone except for Poison Ivy, they automatically become the #1 contender. But if Poison Ivy finds the win, she gets the choice of her opponent.
Representing the Queen from overseas, the Super.
Ariel, a 2-time hardcore champion. has never held the Women's Universal Championship. As a matter of fact, to my knowledge, I don't believe she's ever actually fought for the Women's Universal Championship. Opportunity here tonight, and you kind of consider that hardcore background in a multi-woman matchup. Granted, it's 2 out of 3 falls, but maybe all the chaos that's going to take place here in this matchup could benefit someone like Ariel.
Very well cut. I mean, the match type here in this one, if you think about it too, it's not really one that we've seen in really ever, as far as I know. It's a fatal 4-way and 2 out of 3 falls. At least some new territory here.
It is indeed a first-time matchup here in FWE. We've seen 2 out of 3 falls matches before, but never in a multi-man or woman match.
I mean, we've seen 2 out of 3 falls matches with tables.
We have.
Kingston, Jamaica, Elizabeth.
And you speak
Speaking
of
of
that,
which-
yeah, someone who is very well-versed in that type of a matchup ended up losing her Universal Championship to Mulan back at Paramount in a match with such a stipulation.
Representing the
Did
crew.
Had quite a lengthy run as the Women's Universal Champion. Of course, that was back when it was known as the Women's World Championship of the Galaxy, but 162 days on top of the mountain for Elizabeth Swann.
That Women's Universal Championship has been held by 5 women, including Elizabeth Swann and Poison Ivy. Also, Cruella de Vil, Mulan, and Wonder Woman have all held that belt. We have never had a multi-time Women's Universal Champion. Elizabeth Swann, if she's able to win this #1 contenders match here tonight, this fatal 4-way matchup, go on to power up and win the title, she would continue to make history here in the women's division. Of course, we know that she's not going to be a 2-time back-to-back holder of the women's power-up briefcase, as she was unsuccessful in advancing in her triple threat match.
And from Jackson, Mississippi, Emily.
Well, Ellie, one half of Catching Fireflies, and one would have to kind of maybe wonder about the mentality of Ellie coming into tonight's matchup. We ended up seeing I'll put a question mark at the end of this, falling out of Catching Fireflies during their qualifying matchup this past Saturday night on FWE Extra. We thought we would see them work together. Not only did they not work together, it was Katniss who eliminated Ellie in that matchup.
They went back and forth with one another in that matchup. I think Ellie hit Katniss with the poison mist in that one as well, so it didn't really seem like they were on the same page. And you know, I get it in one respect, because you're trying to fight for yourself. You're trying to qualify your way into a massive matchup, but at the end of the day, you know, you got to try and at least do what you can to keep the tag team together. And if you're going to lose that chemistry, that could lead to problems in the future.
This is a big opportunity here tonight for Ellie. We mentioned about the fact Ariel's held the hardcore title twice. Elizabeth Swann, a former hardcore champion, as well as a former Universal champion. Ellie still looking for her first title belt here. We documented back during her qualifying matchup, she was in that steel cage match to fight to be the inaugural female Cozy Cone Cruiserweight champion, and did not successfully win that belt. So could be a big night if Ellie's able to win here in this one. And you heard our ring announcer Mike Rome announce it. 2 out of 3 falls. It's pretty self-explanatory. First woman to get 2 pins or submissions wins this matchup, and we could end up having a number of individuals end up tying up and maybe go into a sudden death with the scenarios that could play out.
I mean, we call it 2 out of 3 falls, but we could really see everybody get the pinfall by themselves, and then it would just be next pinfall or submission wins it.
And we've been seeing in these qualifying matchups for Power Up, people more than willing to let the eliminations, the pinfall submissions take place. That will not be the case in this matchup. If you see a pinfall or a submission, you are going to want to break that up quickly, because that either means that you're getting tied up or you're playing from behind.
Ariel's been flying around to start this one. Try and stay as focused as you can, though.
And again, the ramifications of this matchup here, if Ariel, Elizabeth Swan, or Ellie end up getting the first 2 pinfalls or submissions, they become the #1 contender for the Universal Championship as Swan got 2 for the price of 1.
Not sure if she intended it that way, but she'll gladly take it.
And if Poison Ivy wins this matchup here, she would have champion's advantage and get to determine who she defends that Universal Championship against at Power Up. I would have to wonder who would she choose, because think of the women that Poison Ivy's been able to successfully defend that title against so far. Cruella de Vil, as well as Ursula. She also defended it successfully against Elizabeth Swan on an occasion. So Harley Quinn, her tag team partner. So I mean, who do you think she would actually choose as an opponent in a week's time?
I have absolutely no idea. There's a kick out at 1, but I mean, I'm thinking about the matchups, the qualifying matchups, and the title matchups that she's had, I should say, in the past as well. And she lost one of those matchups to Elizabeth Swan, and in that matchup, she was able to kick out of the Pirate's Plunge.
Yeah. I also forgot to mention she ended up successfully defeating on a couple of occasions on the same night Mulan. That ended up having 3 matches in which Poison Ivy ended up winning 2 of them.
Well, that was quite a night, to say the least.
Yes, it was. That was a night I think that the general manager Woody had to take an ibuprofen.
A chair being brought into the equation here.
Running Bulldog by Ariel. Ooh, saw that chair, was able to hit it out of the hands of Elizabeth Swan.
Wasn't watching for Ellie, though. When Ellie wasn't watching for this.
Reversal and power bomb. And then Poison Ivy with a kendo stick shot right to the gut.
Broken up really quickly. Ariel back on her feet, delivering all kinds of offense.
Drop kick to the side of the face. Elizabeth Swan now to the outside. It's very much like a fatal 4-way type matchup where you really want to dispose of most of your competition, have them either down or to the outside, have a one-on-one like you have right here with Ellie and Poison Ivy, so that way nobody comes in to break up a pinfall or a submission attempt.
Saw that kendo stick coming. You just got to have all the timing in the world. You got to keep an eye on your opponents that you're not focused on in the moment, because even if you're not... Pirate's Plunge!
Pirate's Plunge! Elizabeth Swan looking for the first pinfall here on Ariel, and Ellie's going to break it up at 2.
Oh, man. I'm going to interrupt my point there, but that Pirate's Plunge could have very well been the first pinfall.
Poison Ivy, submission right here, a mandible claw. Ellie saw that, breaks it up as well.
Ariel's going to meet a chair on the outside of the ring.
Ellie deposited to the outside. What is the Universal Champion thinking here? Drop kick through the ropes.
You have to be really precise on those attacks. I just landed one of those the other night, this past Saturday, so.
Snap suplex there by Elizabeth Swan. I think the lower back of Poison Ivy might have landed on the handle of that kendo stick. Think about what's at stake here in this matchup as well. Dependent on who ends up going to Power Up, who ends up fighting for the Women's Universal Championship, we don't necessarily yet know the timing of where every match is going to be on the card. Consider this. If we end up having that Women's Money in the Bank, that Power Up briefcase ladder match, first thing on the card, if we end up having then the Universal Championship title match, we could end up having a cash-in as early as that night.
We very well could. I mean, that's the risk that happens at that PLE with those matchups where the title is on the line, because you can cash in wherever and whenever you want as soon as the briefcase is in somebody's possession. The moment somebody wins that power-up briefcase, it's a risk for everybody else. Everybody who's got a title belt around their waist, and heck, anybody who's a #1 contender as well, because their championship opportunity can be spoiled by a cash-in.
Just found out earlier tonight that Cusco is the 5th man to qualify and to the men's respective power-up ladder match. We'll be determining the 5th participant later on here on the women's side. I believe that's immediately following this matchup. And tonight in our main event as well, the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship will be on the line. Carson Gum has issued an open challenge to anyone in the back. As he will look to defend that title once again. Carson Gum with a very lengthy reign with that title. Second Pirates plunge from Swan to Ariel. And now Elizabeth Swan needs just one more pinfall or submission and she's the new #1 contender.
Just like that, she's got the advantage over everybody else, but that might make her a bit of a target in this matchup now that people know. Well, she's going to work with Ellie, though. At least for a brief moment, to get Ariel out of the way. Oh, man, jawbreaker.
Elizabeth Swan in control of the champion here as well. Draping leg drop against that bottom rope.
Now Elizabeth Swan might find herself a bit surrounded. Nice chop there by Ellie, but people are going to be right there to break up that cover.
No chance of getting that pinfall there. Poison Ivy and Ariel both in the vicinity. Big drop kick there from Ariel. Takes Ellie down. Irish whipped off the ropes as Ariel into a backbreaker.
Swan is not slowing down whatsoever in this matchup, but look behind you. Oh, she does.
Nice heel kick there by Elizabeth Swan. Right now in control. All 3 of her competitors currently out of this. Now Ellie gets back in. Oh wait, what are we thinking here?
Oh boy.
Top rope. Elizabeth Swan looking for the... She was going for it. Looked like that top rope bulldog, and we got a tap out there.
We had a tap out.
Ellie had that guillotine choke submission on Ariel. Referee called for the bell. Now Elizabeth Swan and Ellie are both at match point, if you will. Mandible claw. We got a cover here by Ariel. But the referee did not see that. He's more focused on the submission here. Ariel could have very well had a point.
I think Elizabeth Swan was just barely able to kick out of it. Why is he not counting the pin?
It's right in front of you, ref.
What is he looking at?
And now Ariel with the armbar on Poison Ivy, but that's 2 potential pinfalls right there that he absolutely missed. Ivy cutter.
I mean, the first one, there was a kick out, so I can kind of give the benefit of the doubt, but that last pinfall, I mean, the shoulders were down right in front of the referee.
Ariel going for the cover here, looking to tie it up between herself, Elizabeth Swan, and Ellie, and a kick out at 1. So Ariel and the champion are right now playing from behind. They need to run a streak of 2 straight pinfalls. Elizabeth Swan and Ellie only need 1.
As if all the obstacles in this matchup weren't enough. Now you're unsure if the referee is totally paying attention.
Right? Code red by Ariel on Elizabeth Swan. Now Ellie with the German suplex. Follows it up, turns Ariel inside out with a close, big boot to Elizabeth Swan.
Ellie's on fire, but she maybe was thinking about some kind of kick attack. Oh, she hits that one.
Shots to the midsection here of Elizabeth Swan. I think Ellie realizing that if she could get a pinfall on Elizabeth, that'd be the best thing to do here, since Elizabeth also only needs 1 pinfall or submission. Sling blade from Ariel. Follows it up with the drop kick. Oh, look at this. The Ivy swing.
This is so disorienting.
This is how Poison Ivy was able to successfully defend the title against Cruella de Vil. Cover is in. There's nobody in the ring right now. And gets the pinfall, does the champion. Now it's Ariel, the only one that is not at match point.
Ariel gets dropped, so does Poison
Irish
Ivy. Oh!
plunge! This could be it to win this 2 out of 3 false matchup, and Ariel able to break it up.
Went for a drop kick, but it got sidestepped. Now Ariel able to sidestep the spinning head scissors. Oh, they thought about the same thing at the same time.
Both looking for the drop kick, canceled each other out.
Shot to the back of the head. Cover is in here. That one gets broken up before 1.
Yeah, never even got a chance for the referee to get down there and count the 3. Big knee right into the forehead by Poison Ivy, and where is Poison Ivy going?
This could win the match.
Double stomp to the gut. Here is the cover. If Poison Ivy wins this, she gets to determine who she faces. And what is... Oh. I thought Ellie wasn't going to get there in time. She kind of waited.
I don't know what that moment's hesitation was for, but she just barely at the last second was able to get a foot on there and break up that pin.
Forearm shot there by Poison Ivy. I thought she might be setting Ariel up for the Ivy Cutter. German suplex released by Elizabeth Swan. Again, if you're keeping score, Ellie, Elizabeth Swan, and Poison Ivy. 1 pinfall, either one of those 3. And they'd be the winner of this matchup.
That's Ariel in a really, really difficult position. She needs 2 pinfalls or submissions in a row in order to win this thing. She found herself on the top rope, and now Ellie on the shoulders of the champion, Poison Ivy.
Ariel able to fight off with being on the top rope there. Oh! Poison Ivy down to the mat. Elizabeth Swan in control of Ellie. Flurry of offense, might be thinking about that Pele kick.
Oh, look at that.
Covered by Elizabeth Swan, and Ariel will break it up.
That thing got broken up quickly. Ariel just immediately dropped Poison Ivy to her feet right when she got back up. That's when she was recovering.
Short, compact DDT there by Elizabeth Swan. And now Poison Rana on Poison Ivy.
Oh, I think Ellie thought about the uppercut. The clicker uppercut. It didn't connect, though.
Hurricane Rana there by Elizabeth Swan on Ellie. There's the Ivy Cutter. Poison Ivy looking for the pin. Ariel inside the ring, gonna break it up.
Keep the match alive. Ariel's chance right now. The other competitors are distracted ringside.
Ariel looking maybe for code red once again. Can she tie this up at 1 pinfall apiece? Does not go for the cover, however.
Oh, man.
Big leg drop there by Ariel. Now going to take care of Ellie on the outside with a float over stunner.
This is Ariel's chance. She's got to get back in the ring and go for a pinfall or submission.
What is she waiting for?
I have no idea.
Costing precious seconds here is Ariel. Now looks like it's going to be a convergence out there between Swan, Ariel, and Ivy.
Ariel's back in the ring and she's down. Poison Ivy's back in the ring. She's not. Look out here.
Big kick to the back of the head by Poison Ivy. Springboard moonsault cover in here on Ariel. Nobody around to break this up. And Poison Ivy is going to get her second fall and win the match.
Here is your winner, Ivy.
I think Elizabeth Swan realized just a little bit too late what was going on, and Poison Ivy, just like that, she has full control over who her next #1 contender is going to be.
Who will she choose for her next title defense 1 week from tonight at Power Up? Well, up next, we may be one step closer to determine another future #1 contender for the Women's Universal Championship. It's our 5th qualifying match for the women's side.
Power up, power up, power up. Feel the fight, it's a puncher's
as we get ready here for our 5th qualifying matchup for the Women's Power-Up Ladder match. Elsa certainly hoping that a little magic going to come her way, as this past Saturday night on FWE Extra, we saw her tag team partner, Anna, become the most recent individual to transfer into the Power-Up PLE.
Looking to become one of the latest in the small handful of people who have been double champions with one tag title and one singles title. Sounds like we have another former champion making her way to the ring.
Cruella de Vil, the inaugural Women's World Champion, back as you alluded to when it was called the Women's World Championship of the Galaxy, now renamed the Women's Universal Championship, which, going back to that matchup we just had there, that Fatal 4-Way matchup, I guess the best we can do is say Poison Ivy versus To Be Determined. That's what our narrative was going into the matchup. It remains the same after the matchup is concluded.
Funny how things work out sometimes.
Cruella de Vil, very well versed in multi-woman matchups. Cast your memory back to that Royal Rumble match we had on Christmas Day, that All I Want for Christmas Royal Rumble. Cruella de Vil was successful in that match, and her wish was she wanted a shot at Poison Ivy for the Women's Universal Championship. Was unsuccessful, but could guarantee another shot if she's able to go to Power Up and win that briefcase.
And one thing, too, about Cruella, before we move on to the other competitors of this match, I seem to remember all the way back at our first ever PLE at Fantasia, she somehow managed to retain that title, and I think it was an 8-woman match. I mean, the odds were not in her favor of retaining whatsoever, and she managed to pull off the impossible, so definitely don't count around this matchup.
It's a great point you talk about. That was an 8-woman matchup. Our ladder match at Power Up will only be 6 women, so obviously multi-woman matchups never are favorable in terms of odds, but your odds are slightly better when it's only 5 other competitors as opposed to 7. Jury, a member of the Avengers. Saw her make her debut all the way back at Infinity War Games when she fought for the Women's Universal Championship.
And from Paris, France,
I believe I talked about this last Saturday night. When you kind of look at the current field on the men's side and on the women's side, you don't really see much opportunity for alliances, no multiple representatives of a certain faction. Well, Jasmine of the Disney Queens has already advanced to Power Up. If Belle's able to win here tonight, that's a 33 1/3% chance that that Power Up briefcase could be in the faction of the Disney Queens.
It very well could be, but you know, you can make the same point about Team Let It Go as well with Elsa in this matchup. So a lot of factions trying to make sure they have that briefcase in their hands. I don't see why they wouldn't want to do that either. It's massive power at your fingertips.
How about this? Remember back this past Saturday night, we were talking about the possibility of working together of tag team partners Katniss Everdeen and Ellie Williams. You've got former Disney tag team champions right here. Belle just made her way to the ring. Rapunzel coming down next.
So again, factions trying to make sure they have that briefcase in their hands. I would have to say, based on some of the recent history we've seen in these qualifier matchups, it wouldn't be surprised if there's not really any alliances here.
Well, Belle and Rapunzel, the longest reigning women's Disney tag team champions before they eventually, we'll say, were kind of suckered into defending their titles against Disney Strong Style. Team Let It Go, of course, the current holders of the tag team titles, so one would have to wonder if maybe Belle and Rapunzel will be singling out Elsa in this matchup, but they might want to focus on the powerhouse, the Amazon Wonder Woman.
Speaking of wondering.
former hardcore champion, former women's universal champion as well.
She's also looking for redemption. I believe she was the one who was cashed in on.
You are correct. Shortest reign with the Women's Universal Championship, maybe about 5 minutes or so before she was cashed in on by Elizabeth Swan, who held the very first power-up briefcase.
Again, top right of your screen, you can see the faces of the individuals who have already qualified for the women's power-up ladder match, those being Susan Storm, Moana, Jasmine, and Anna. We're about to add a 5th name to that list here tonight.
Already added a 5th name on the men's side in Cusco. The 6th and final participants on both the men's and the women's power-up ladder matches fields will be determined this Saturday night, 7 p.m., our go-home show of FWE Extra. And what a card it is shaping up to be, of course, as we mentioned. Don't know exactly who the opponent is going to be. It will be dealer's choice for the Women's Universal Champion, Poison Ivy, earning that right just moments ago. Matt McIntyre will be defending the United States Championship against Baymax. Hades will put the Intercontinental Championship on the line against Dylan Poteet. I've just been told in my ear here, Jack, that everybody's going to want to tune in here this Saturday night as well. There's going to be some ramifications in regards to the Women's Female Fighting Championship. Esmeralda will put that title on the line at Power Up, #1 contender to be determined in a battle royal this Saturday.
How about that? That'll make things even more fun. That'll kind of bring that title back to its roots. We've kind of seen the Female Fighting Championship be defended in a multitude of different match types as of late, which is obviously a good thing to see, but at the end of the day, that title was built amongst the Battle Royals, so it'll be fun to see who comes out on top of that one.
If that doesn't whet your appetite for Power Up, also being told that we saw that rather shocking title change with the Women's Rotten to the Hardcore Championship. Autumn Brooks defeating multi-time champion Jessica Shelton. Jess is invoking her rematch clause. That match will take place at Power Up as well.
I mean, it's just building. Oh, look out, kendo stick flying.
Again, we got to get those signs in here. We got to get helmets for the crowd.
I gotta say, yeah, it's just building and building and building. It's one of our biggest PLEs of the year. I mean, those briefcases are obviously going to be the main event, but really, you got all the titles on the line too, so all the ramifications there, but it's just massive, massive power in your hands when you win those contracts, because every single champion is paying attention to you. Look out there. Comes with a diving move from the top rope.
Really those core 4 PLEs, of course, at the top of the list. You've got Paramount, you've got the Royal Brawl, you've got Power Up here coming up in a week's time, and then you got Combat Evolved, which will be coming up here in the next few months. As a matter of fact, in regards to the PLE following Power Up, we're going to be having Guardians of the Ring, and we will be revealing the tournament bracket this Thursday night during our Power Up PLE, so stay tuned for that.
That's obviously going to be an absolutely massive deal here in FWE too, because those tournaments, they're going to determine #1 contenders for title matches when we get to Combat Evolved later this summer.
Also, Rapunzel inside of the ring here now. Only place that the pinfall submission can take place for an elimination, and these two have faced off in the past in tag team action. We've seen the Disney Queens and Team Let It Go lock up before. DDT there by Rapunzel taking Elsa down. As I said, granted by proxy, Team Let It Go have the tag team titles thanks to Disney Strong Style, but you got a moonsault, standing moonsault there by Rapunzel, cover on Elsa, and a kick out at 2, but you'd have to think that if that had been a pinfall elimination by Disney Queens on Team Let It Go, that would be a little bit of sweet revenge for the titles they formerly held.
Very well could be, as we Wonder Woman in a little bit of trouble here in the middle of the ring. Belle in the cover.
This would be a big elimination if Belle is able to take out Wonder Woman and able to power her out there at 2. Oh, I think referee Ernest Wright might have just gotten a shot in the back from that kick from Belle.
I think he did. Oh, big kick there. Cruella. Right, going to slowly work his way up to his feet, which is important. You want to pay attention to the referee. If he's not completely paying attention, you want to take that moment to dish out a bit more offense instead of going for a pin or submission.
Yeah, still trying to figure out what was going on with Ernest Wright back during that fatal four-way matchup moments ago.
Not totally sure what was going on there, but he's counting
Oh,
this
look at
pin.
this!
Oh, look at
This
this!
is perfectly legal! No disqualifications, and Cruella de Vil cutting corners, had her feet on the ropes for leverage, and Elsa is eliminated.
Might have been a very slightly slow count, too. I think Ernest Wright hesitated for a brief moment when he realized what was going on, but then he remembered there was no DQ, so it was legal. We've got our first elimination.
Very smart, very savvy there by Cruella, who now is in trouble after the double arm hook power bomb by Belle.
The referee just a little bit too long getting there.
Oh! Friendly fire? Question mark? Belle on Rapunzel.
Yes, no, I don't really know if there's... I mean, it's technically friendly fire, but it's technically not, too, because every woman for herself at the end of the day.
Well, I gotta remember back to the Royal Brawl, we ended up seeing, I think at a time, 3 Disney queens were all in the ring together, and nobody worked with each other. This Wonder Woman with looks like a Boston Crab sharpshooter type submission here on Belle. If Belle taps out, that'd be an elimination.
Wonder Woman gonna let go though instead. Oh, big kick there by Shuri on the outside.
Uh-oh. Cruella has felt this before. Amazon slam by Wonder Woman. Cover is in. And Cruella is eliminated. That's exactly how Wonder Woman won the Women's Universal Championship all those months back at Sugar Rush.
All it took was that Amazon slam, and now Shuri looking to dish out some offense of her own. That covers in.
Jackhammer slam by Shuri. Oh, and a kick out by Wonder Woman at 2. You know, it's interesting. You kind of look at the field on the men's side. We documented Maui appears to currently be the powerhouse factor. You look at who's advanced so far on the women's side. You can't really find a clear powerhouse between the 4 advancees. If Wonder Woman were able to advance here tonight, I think she'd be the clear favorite in terms of that power category.
I think so. Neck breaker there by Belle. I'm going to try and capitalize on it. Quickly goes in the cover, but a kick out before a 1 count. Look at Shuri flying around.
Look at that head scissors, then into the armbar takedown there on Belle. And now we'll see in these circumstances, do we see, yep, looks like the Disney Queens, at least for a moment, on the same page.
Oh, submission locked in.
Chinlock there by Rapunzel. Shuri was able to very quickly get out of that, and now Rapunzel scoop power slam delivered by Wonder Woman, cover in, and a kick out at 2.
Shuri gonna try and focus on Wonder Woman a little bit.
Oh!
Oh my!
Modified cutter there by Shuri. Again, another cover on Wonder Woman, and a kick out at 2 once again. Shuri's been determined to get the bigger individual out of this matchup. Sling blade!
An upset, but yeah, there's the sling blade. Shoulders are down.
Cover here on Belle. And Belle is gone. Half the field remains, and that decreases the odds of the Disney Queens here in this matchup.
And Shuri's on fire right now. Does not want to lose this momentum, but you got to keep eyes in the back of your head. She was not watching for Wonder Woman.
All 4 women outside of the ring right now. Belle is still down on the far side. Rapunzel's just now gotten to her feet. Shuri just got taken down by Wonder Woman. All these women were inside the ring for a good portion of the matchup, making them susceptible to a pinfall or submission. Now maybe looking to deal damage on the outside here.
That sidestep though by Shuri. Being about as focused as she possibly can. Oh, look at that.
Bell heads to the back. We're down to Rapunzel, Shuri, and Wonder Woman. One of these three are going to join Susan Storm, Moana, Jasmine, and Anna in next week's Power Up PLE.
Of course, later tonight in our main event, Carson Gum issuing an open challenge for the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship.
A lot of question marks coming into tonight. We didn't know who the #1 contender for the Women's Universal Championship was going to be. We still don't know that. Plus, that air of mystery. Who is it going to be that's going to come out from behind the curtain to answer that challenge by the champion Carson Gum?
So the question marks aren't just the ones on the top of the screen
That's
right
correct.
now.
I feel like we always have question marks when we're getting ready for PLEs. I don't know why.
Air of mystery. Look out here.
Shuri takes to the skies and caught Wonder Woman right in the chest, it looks like there, with that flying senton. Now Rapunzel looking to follow up with a neck breaker.
Taking place ringside. Of course, the winning pinfalls and submissions have to take place inside the ring. Shuri broke up, but I think there was going to be some offense there. Now she's the one sent back inside.
Standing Spanish fly there from Rapunzel to Wonder Woman. Now going to deliver Diana in between the ropes here. You kind of almost wonder if Shuri and Rapunzel might want to team up against the Amazon. Obviously that's not the case, as Rapunzel driven into the barricade.
I feel like all of our questions about whether or not people want to team up in these qualifying matchups have been answered in the negative. And I mean, you mentioned it earlier in the show too. We still don't know what the fallout is going to be from what happened between the members of Catching Fireflies.
Ooh, nice spinning roundhouse kick into the gut there by Shuri. Goes into the cover on Wonder Woman. This is the third time she's tried to eliminate her, and this time she will be successful. That's a massive elimination.
I think that came out of nowhere for me.
That kind of makes me think of Cusco eliminating Hulk earlier on tonight.
And anyone can catch anyone off guard at any time, so just like that, we're down to 2.
Rapunzel and Shuri. If Rapunzel wins, that'd be at least 2 representative of the Disney Queens in that ladder match.
DDT.
Going for the cover, going to shoot the half. Is this going to be enough for Rapunzel to advance to next week's Power Up PLE, and a kick out this late at 1?
Strong kick out at 1, so that's telling me that there's plenty of life still in Shuri, but she's going to have to try and take advantage of it. Oh!
Rapunzel got the knees up. Back and forth.
Another reversal.
Oh, might be looking for the Rampage DDT. Why isn't Shuri going for the cover?
Can't quite figure out what she wants to do, and she might pay for that moment's hesitation.
Kick to the side of the head. Tilt-a-whirl, head scissors, takedown by Rapunzel, who takes to the skies, misses with the splash.
Shuri again with a reversal.
Go behind Sling Blade. Is this going to be enough? Is Shuri going to power up? Yes, she is.
What a performance.
Here is your winner, Black Archer.
Well, Shuri did not run the table like Robbie Jackson, but she got the last 3 eliminations of this matchup to advance her way to that ladder match in a week's time at Power Up.
She did absolutely electric performance, especially towards the end of it, reading her opponent's playbook. And now, coming up next, our main event, Carson Gum. 134-day reign as the Cruiserweight champion, but it could come to an end in this open challenge here tonight.
Is scheduled for one fall and is for the Global Cruiserweight Championship.
Carson Gum has issued the challenge. Who has answered?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh, gosh. Well, Jack, when you were in your qualifying matchup this most recent Saturday night, Robbie Gilvin joined me at commentary, and I echo every sentiment that he had when Elmo came out from behind the curtain. This terrifies me because Carson, he's been able to turn back all challengers. You mentioned that 134-day reign, but there is the slightest possibility that after tonight, Elmo could be walking around with a championship belt.
I thought I dealt with him last night. Clearly not. Or I say last night, I mean last Thursday, but clearly he's not gone anywhere.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
I'm going to be very interested to see the facial expression of Carson as he comes out here, because obviously he issued the challenge, didn't know who was going to answer, and of all individuals, he's putting the title on the line here tonight against Elmo.
I mean, I will say, I do admire, in a way, the persistence that he has, because, again, this past Saturday, unsuccessful in that qualifying match, and now he turns right around, and he's gonna answer an open challenge against Carson Gum, and he could be heading into Power Up as the Cruiserweight champion.
Now, the only thing, to your point, that maybe would give Carson a slight edge is that lengthy matchup just a few short days ago that Elmo went through. One would certainly have to assume he is not at 100% physically. Could be something that Carson could exploit.
Very well could be, but at the very least, I think Carson might also have to keep in mind, too, that at least it's Elmo. It's not somebody that he hasn't seen before. He might not have had a one-on-one matchup against Elmo before, but there's tape on Elmo that exists. You can go back and watch one of his earlier matchups in FWE. So Carson will probably be keeping that in the back of his mind as he defends tonight.
Carson Gum won the title belt from Harry Potter back at Paramount. 134-day reign, looks to continue it here tonight. Elmo looking for his first championship in FWE as we send it down to our ring announcer, Mike Rome.
Introducing the challenger from the internet, weighing in at 100 pounds, Eli Mondo. And his opponent from Denton, Texas, weighing in at 230 pounds, the Global Cruiserweight Champion, the Fireman, Carson Gum.
Well, that prestigious Wayfinder Cruiser Championship burst on the scene a few months after FW was established. It's been held by 4 individuals, currently Carson Gum, as well as Harry Potter. My individual to my right here, Jack Mitchell, and Cusco, who was the inaugural Cruiserweight champion. Would Elmo possibly be the 5th here tonight, or can Carson be able to keep his title reign going right out of the gate? Elmo with the early advantage.
Big DDT there to start this one. I mean, Elmo got... I talked about how he might be feeling some kind of aggression, some kind of persistence, because, again, lost that qualifier matchup, but was right back in the ring here tonight. And he came out hot to start this one.
Talk about Carson Gum. Not exactly tall in stature, but he is deceptively strong. We've seen him go up against individuals maybe physically more powerful than him. My mind kind of goes back to that Goblet of Fire that Harry Potter put him through before he was even able to fight for the Cruiserweight title at Paramount. Is covered here by Elmo, and a kick out at 1, and Carson was able to take the fight to and defeat Hagrid.
I mean, Carson not shy of taking on the larger individuals, but he's also, I don't think he's really wrestled like anybody like Elmo before, who's this quick and high flying. Pretty much the embodiment of what a cruiserweight should be. I mean, just look at how fast he's moving out there.
Referee Ernest Wright continuing to administer this 10 count. Elmo's got to be aware of that here, because the title would not change hands on a count out. He has to either break this up, which he does. Oh!
Carson sidestepped it, I think.
Almost like a springboard rolling thunder attempt there by Elmo, and then a running elbow by Carson almost right into our camera here.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody attempt anything like that, where they just drop straight down without much force from the top rope to ringside. I mean, if that attack connected, Carson would have been probably broken in half.
Well, Elmo is, if anything, unpredictable, as rolls through, kick right to the forehead, and referee Ernest Wright calling for a rope break there. I don't know if that's because Carson's shoe caught the lower rope on the way up of that pinfall attempt or not.
That's exactly what he called, which in my opinion is the correct call, but...
Roll up here,
Look
off
out.
the Hurricane Rana. Oh my gosh!
No way.
And that's it!
Here is your winner, and new Global Cruiserweight Champion, Eli
Carson's barely put up a fight in that matchup.
All it took was one kick right to the forehead. It busted Carson open. And then that Hurricane Rana off the top. And the Cruiserweight title is now in the hands of a Muppet here in FWE.